I see a bag, I gon' make it flip. Get the pack on up, we taking a trip. Niggas tryna kill me, I fell for my life. While I'm living this bad, now I'm holding a stick. Always protected, that shit on my waist. And it's feeling real heavy, I walk with a lint. Tryna go get it this year, but the days got no food on my tray that don't want me to win.
Yo, is this it? Is this episode 1?
Are we recording right now?
I think so.
We're really doing this?
I mean, we might as well. Let's talk about it then.
Welcome to the first episode of Let's Talk About It, the podcast.
The podcast.
That sounds good.
It do sound good, man. Guys, it took us a little while to get up and running. We had some issues, but this is it. Like we're here, we're recording. You're listening to the very first episode of Let's Talk About It, and I'm here with my co-host Mike. Mike, well, tell the people about yourself.
What's going on, man?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Get this episode out to the people.
Absolutely.
They've been waiting.
I know,
A lot of people have been asking, where's the first episode? It's been a while.
It has been a while. We've been trying to get it together,
These
but
little roadblocks stopped this.
A little bit, but
Tried to stop it.
Try. You got to persevere through those. You feel me? You know
to.
what I'm saying? That's what we're good at. So I mean, we might as well just jump right into it.
All right. So what's the topic? What are we talking about today?
I think today we're gonna talk about some fear.
Some fear.
What you scared of? Some things you scared of.
I got a lot of social fears.
Like social?
To be honest.
What do you mean? Give me an example of one.
Let's see. It's a lot of them.
A lot? Come on, narrow it down to one.
Alright, so I think my biggest fear is falling in love with someone and then one day them telling me they're not loving me no more.
That'll hurt.
Like,
That'll hurt.
That's one of my biggest fears.
Do that stop you from trying though?
Absolutely.
You think
Unfortunately,
it do?
yeah, a
Okay.
little bit. Cause it's like I'm a relationship type guy. I want to be in a relationship so bad, but like that's always in the back of my mind.
But you gotta let that come naturally. You can't try to force it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But still, it's like when you think about fear though,
Mm-hmm.
that's what holds 99% of people back from doing what they really want to do.
I mean, fear will hold you back from doing a lot of stuff.
So like, what's some of your fears?
I think one of my biggest fears is quitting. And I know it's
quitting?
fear of quitting. Like someone once told me that quitting becomes a habit, you know.
Absolutely.
And then I don't ever want to find myself falling into that habit of quitting. Like I'm petrified of it. Because it becomes so easy to give stuff up that I'm like, I don't like this. Now I'm done.
So like, what makes you quit? Or like, what makes you want to quit?
The crazy thing is, it could be like the process of it all. It could be maybe it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like maybe I just had a different idea of like what exactly the task I was getting myself into was. So then it's like I get involved in it and I'm like halfway through and I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. You feel me? Like, perfect example, like in college I went to be a physics major because I wanted to be an engineer. But they didn't have an engineering thing. So long story short, I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I switched majors. I quit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the work was too complicated. It literally it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
I feel you on that. I also feel like fear could be a good thing too instead of bad. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think
fear could drive you to be better.
Absolutely. Because now but it depends on what you're afraid of in that scenario. Because it definitely could drive you to be better. Like you could be scared of failure. I don't think it's good to be scared of failure, but if you're scared to fail.
Well, let's talk about that. Because I'm scared to fail.
You're scared
I don't
to
like
fail?
failing. Absolutely. I hate
But
failing.
like, are you? But back to my first question: are you too scared of failure to try?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends on what it is.
See, but to me, that's one of the most devastating things. Like when we were about to start this, I was at work. I was telling somebody about it, and they were like, "How are you not afraid to post that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's just like, "Oh well, I do stuff like, and I record myself, and I'm too scared to post. I'm too scared of like the social factors of it all."
Scared of that judgment.
Exactly.
People gonna really like listen to it.
You know how people get in comments. They bash you in comments, bro.
Not really worried about what people say. It's more of is it gonna get the exposure that I want? Especially like with this podcast. Like, let's say we post it, and it don't do the numbers that we want it to do, or like.
But that's the thing. So I think it all comes down to like your purpose of why you're doing anything. Because if you want to do this podcast because you genuinely just want to, like for your enjoyment, then that failure fear is no longer in play.
So what you're saying is, if you got something you want to do, you gotta figure out your why and make that.
Exactly.
Make that.
Exactly. Because like you can't. So if I'm doing this podcast. Why? Because I want to, and I genuinely feel like I could get some of my thoughts and opinions out there. Do I necessarily care about the feedback? To an extent, I care about it to the point where I want to please my listeners. Like, I want to give them content that they want to hear, but I don't want to say I don't care about the negative comments, but it depends on the kind of constructive criticism it is. If it's constructive, I'll take it in, but if it's just too negative, I'm not with it. I'm not gonna let it phase me.
People gonna hate regardless.
Exactly.
Nobody say you're not doing that.
Exactly. Because if I was just
that should be like a driving force for people too.
if you were just sitting upstairs playing Xbox, nobody hate on you. I mean, yeah, they would. They'd say you suck at the game, but like, you get what I'm saying. They can't hate on your podcast if you don't have a podcast.
Absolutely. I feel like people that are scared of other people's like comments and them judging them.
I mean, it's cool, bro. Like, I think I get where you're going. Like, people that are scared of other people's comments, that are hurt. Like people's opinions are so crucial to like some of the things that we do in a society. Like, if your parents don't agree with something, 9 times out of 10, especially if you're younger, I think that especially if you're younger, you're not going to do it. Like, you know how many people want to do something and their parents don't agree with it? Like, I think the easy example I can always think of is like a kid wanting to go to art school.
Mm-hmm.
What's always the first question a parent gonna ask you if you want to go to art school?
Well, how much money you gonna make with art?
Exactly. Like, how are you gonna make money doing
you
art?
don't make no money in art.
Yeah, and that's exactly what your parents say. But you could be the best. You could be the next Picasso. But mommy said you can't go to school, major in art, so now you over there doing social work. And you could be you could like social work. You could be good at social work.
That's not your passion.
It's not your passion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll genuinely believe, like, if you don't like where you're at Monday through Friday at 9 to 5, those 40 hours a week you're at work, that's not happy. You feel me? Like, you could be good at what you do and not be happy doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, it happens all the time. But when you're passionate about what you do, you're not working. You just doing something you enjoy.
That's where you gotta just go out and do it. Forget what mommy and daddy say.
Yeah, but how
you don't live life for mommy and daddy, you're not gonna be happy.
How do you get over that fear of that disappointment? Because, like, say, you know, same scenario, art, you want to go to art, college, blah. Mom says, well, I'm not supporting that. Like, now, what's going through your head now but fear? Like, how am I going to survive? How am I going to, I don't want to disappoint mom. Mm-hmm. I can't, you know what I'm saying? So, like, what would you do? And that's, like, how do you get over that fear?
You just got to go for it. It's your parents, like, no matter what you do. No matter what they say or what you do, they're going to support you regardless.
But do you want to put that relationship on the line? Because it's going to be that fear of losing that relationship.
Are you going to sit there and live your life for your parents?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, no. I think I will. Like, I think my mom's understanding to the point where she won't put me in that position. But I think if she ever did, I think I would have to just go for it and have to, like, that might be my driving force. That'd be my new why. Mm-hmm. Now I don't want to do it just to prove her wrong, but I want to do it because I want to. But if I prove mom wrong in the process, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Because that's like proving everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little kick.
You can get something out of proving people wrong.
Yeah, just
like, what it is. You just got to prove somebody wrong.
You just look at her. That's that, like,
yeah, I told you I can do it.
Yeah, like, I know you ain't believe in me, but I did it really. Like, don't try to hug me now kind of thing.
Oh, now you want to mess with me.
Yeah, now you want to be on the team.
You see the money coming in from the art, now you want to mess with me.
You saw me, you know, touring in Spain and Italy. They calling me the next Picasso. But, like, let's get back to the topic a little bit. Like, how do you deal with everyday fears?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out as I get older and I'm growing.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, I let fear hold me back from doing like the things I want to do.
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know if I encounter fear, because there's not a lot of things, like I said, like physical things, yes, I'm afraid of. Like, I'm scared of snakes and bears and wildlife. But I'm talking about, like, societal pressures, like the real nitty-gritty stuff that really stops people from being successful.
I feel like it's not the fact that you fear something, but how you use that to overcome what you're trying to do.
But you don't think that fear plays a factor in it, though?
Absolutely, that's human nature. You're going to fear regardless. Like, it's impossible not to fear something.
Yeah, I mean,
no matter what.
Yeah, but I think there's definite fears that you can easily overcome if you just stop caring.
All right, so let's break it down. All right, let's say, I don't know, give me like a
like you being
like
my thing is, like, you being scared of a snake is different than you being scared of a negative comment on your Instagram post. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. So if you like, as a podcaster, you're going to post this to social media. Is that fear of that negative feedback enough to stop you from trying?
Absolutely.
How? I mean, you're doing it right now. It can't. You can't.
Like I said before, what if nobody's listening to it? Like,
I get you. So it's like that future fear.
yeah, the unknown.
The fear of the unknown.
Like,
But
you don't know what's gonna happen.
That's bliss right there. That unknown, yo. That to me, that's exciting.
How do you get in this mindset where like, the unknown is exciting to you?
Because like,
help me out, please.
all right. So basically, the way I look at it is, the work like what you do know is the worst that could happen. You always know the worst.
Absolutely.
You don't know what the best thing that could happen is in the unknown, and that's where I find the excitement. It's like if I fail, I already thought that through. I already thought what could happen if I fail. Like if I start a podcast, I don't get any followers. I post it, I get 0 views on every post. People in the comments say you suck. That's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the best thing that could happen is?
You blow up.
But what's blow up? Like how far is that far that you blow up?
I mean, your podcast is everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah, but like you never like so your podcast gets popular. Now you're on a TV show. Now after that TV show, somebody calls you because they thought you were funny. Now you're in a movie. You do that movie, you get a second movie. Now you get a reoccurring role on a TV show. Now you got your own TV. Like you see what I'm saying? That unknown that's out there, that's pure adventure. That's pure no final destination. You know what the known. You know the known of failure. Mm-hmm. Like I stopped. I lost X amount of money because I put this money into the podcast and it didn't go anywhere. Like and that's it. That's what I lost.
How do you get over that though?
By being excited about the unknown instead of fearing it. Like I think in real like without actually trying to break it down, I would say that I get excited by the fact of possible success more than I get deterred by possible failure. Because everyone
think about being successful more than you think about failing.
Absolutely. I like when I think of a new idea, I think of 1,000 ways I can succeed before I think of one way I could fail.
That's a good way to think about things.
Exactly, because like there's so many.
I feel like people think more on the negative than they do the positive.
Exactly, it's the half cup, half empty, half full cup. You feel me? Like if I look at a situation and I see 1,000 ways that I can maneuver to strategize and win, that one way I thought about losing becomes so minuscule that how could I fear that? Like I said, we sparred for 20 seconds about the possibilities of winning, and I gave you 7-8 examples of ways I could have won in this podcast, and I gave you one example of failure that no one watched. Mm-hmm. How can I fear that no one watched if I thought about all those reasons that I could? You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing. Like so, I think like a realistic fear I have is like approaching people in public. Like I don't like girls example. Like I like me.
You're probably one of the most outspoken people I know. You have a fear of approaching people.
Yeah, but I make myself get over it. Like no one would know that's my biggest weakness. But in my mind, before I go talk to somebody, sometimes I rehearse the whole conversation. Like I try to talk it through my head. And then on
like anxiety.
Exactly. But on the outside, people look at it like, yo, Malik's outspoken. He's like out there. But no, like I'm in my head just as much as the next person. But I don't let that stop me. No, it's not. I might show sometimes. Like some people call me awkward. And I don't know if that's just me being shy or nervous or whatever, but I know when I get to the approach, I went for it at that point, and then I become relaxed. Like the more I do it, the more relaxed I get into the conversation. But that initial startup, I'm always nervous. Like I'll be out, I'll see somebody, I'll be like, okay, I think she's attractive, I want to go talk to her, and like I might, if it's like a reoccurring place I go to, I might not do it that first time. Like I might wait till time 2 or 3 to finally convince myself. Like
get that time.
I mean, then I missed out. Like I would have missed out. But I'm trying to get better. Like I'm trying to make myself like, all right, first time I have this thought of doing this. As long as I approach it the right way, the worst that can happen is this. Because like when I say I think about all the ways I succeed, I think that's one of the interactions where I don't. I think that's one of the times where I do think about some more ways I could fail than more things that could go right.
Talking to people.
Yeah, talking to people like. And it's not even, like I said, it's not even, it depends on who it is. Like, meeting bosses and stuff are easy for me. Like, interviews, stuff like that, that's easy. I'm talking about, like, having a intellectual conversation with someone, like, someone that I'm attracted to. Like, I'll approach it, And like I said, when I'm in that position, I get relaxed very quickly, very easily. But it's like forcing myself to get up and go over there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hardest part.
I have that fear too. I do not like talking. Especially to new people. I can't do it. I don't know what it is. They get all awkward.
Yeah, it's just weird. You get them dry breaks of silence.
Awkward pauses.
You don't know.
Pauses of silence and all that.
You don't know what that person is okay with you saying versus what they aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't say the joke I said with my friend yesterday to you. I don't know you.
Yeah, exactly.
I say to you, you could be like, ew, like, what kind of person? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's weird, man.
So, like, let's get back to, because you said you're not scared of failing.
Nah. Can't. I don't think I even think about it half the time.
So what advice do you have for people that are scared of failing?
Fail.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Like, the way to get over something is to introduce yourself to it. Like, if you've never failed before, of course you're going to be scared to fail. Like, you've never done that before. Like, you think that expectation is so high of you that you can't take that step back now. Bro, I could be moving forward with something and take 20 steps back and find some sort of happiness in that. Like, I could
light at the end of the tunnel.
100%. Like, no matter how far away it may seem, no matter how many times, like, I might go away from the light, I can still see it. As long as I can physically see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, why would I give up? Why would I not put my all into it? Like, that failure, it really isn't an option as long as there's a light. No matter how small it is, no matter the tiniest glimmer, there's a chance to succeed.
That's deep.
But it is, but it isn't. Like, I get one life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems longer than it really is, all that stuff. And I think about my own mortality a lot, and that's how I think I drive myself. Like, I genuinely do. I think about, like, the fact that there's going to be one day where there's no Malik. But there's a beginning date, May 31st, 1996, an end date on my tombstone, undetermined, and a dash in the middle. Like, that dash, I better have done everything I wanted to do in that dash, because I don't get a second dash. Just know, May 31st, dash, this date, dash. This date. It ends. You get one dash in life. Make that dash count. Like, that's all it is. And, like, I think that's just what, like, I'm going to try new things. You're always going to try new things. Failing is inevitable. You're going to fail at something. Like, there's no way you never fail. You could be perfect for 77 years. Year 78, you're going to fail somehow. So why be scared of something that's inevitable? Taxes is inevitable. You gonna fear paying your taxes every
way to get out of taxes.
All right, man. Come on, Mike from Jersey Shore. Situation's going to jail over here.
But no, I get you when you say just go out and fail. Because let's say you fail like 10 times. All you need is that one time to succeed and you be good.
You play basketball.
Yeah, I try.
When you missing a bunch of shots, what you always say? All I need to see is one go in?
Nah, I be like, I need to stop shooting. But yeah, I get you. You miss a bunch of shots, you make one, you feeling good. Like,
yeah, you hear shooters say all the time. All I need is one to go in. Once one falls, that rim, it feels a little bigger. Like, oh wait, I can actually do that.
Mm-hmm. Let me try
Same thing with you trying new things. You fail, you succeed at one. You're like, whoa, let me try something else.
I'm on this one here. Let me keep going.
Yeah, I'm more like this. I might be on a new path, a non-failing path.
So like, when it comes to fear and that, I feel like a good way to overcome it is to take baby steps. Like, you have your bigger goal, you should break that down. Take the baby steps.
100%. Like, bro, when you think about an end goal, you gotta remember, like, that end goal could be 30 years from now. You gotta be
there's no timetable on goals.
Patient, persistent, and failure. Like, that along the way. That's all that's gonna happen.
I think that's what messes a lot of people up too. No one has patience nowadays.
Yo, patience is so quick.
Everybody want it like that.
Yeah, bro. I think it was something that said, like, the average person's, like, attention time span on something like 15 seconds. You tell me you can't pay attention more than 15 seconds?
It depends on what it is. If that's not gonna hold my interest, no.
I mean, I get it, but it's like at the same time, like, how can you? If I'm putting my all into something and I care about it, it's definitely easier to pay attention.
Yeah,
If I don't care, or it's not in my interest, I'm doing it for some odd other reason that brought me there, then yeah, I'm not paying attention. But why do you find yourself in that position to be somewhere where you don't want to pay attention?
Sometimes you got to do things you don't like to do to get where you want to go.
100%. You do that.
School.
School, to an extent,
What do you mean to an extent?
like, I guess it depends on what you want to do. Because, like, again, if you're passionate about something, and school doesn't feel like
Yeah, but if you're
School.
a sports management major,
hmm
you don't care about English class. You don't care what's going on.
Why don't you? You have to write memos. You gotta write letters. You gotta draft stuff.
Nobody looks at it that way, though.
I mean, I get you, but it's still to an extent where you have to really, like, for me, if I want to do something, the process of learning it, I think is more fun than the final product. Cause you again, you mess up along the way. You learn new tricks. You get all these maneuvers, and like at the end, you put those all together, and then it's like boom. This is a final product. And no matter what you do, like what you did along the way, you end up with that final product because of the things you learned along the way. Like the process should be funner than the final product. Like football, for example.
All right.
You play in college, you play 10 games a year, minimum. You get 10 guaranteed games. You get so many more practices. You get about 50 practices.
You probably play in like 12 minutes a game.
Yeah, so why would you enjoy those 10 games more than you enjoy the 50 practices? Like, you hate
That's where the glory comes from.
No, that's where the public view comes in. Like, that's
what
what
people fall in love with, though.
Yeah, it is. But if I love practice, so you're a gamer. That's what people want to call them, the gamers. If you're a gamer and I'm a try hard in practice, because that's what they like to call you, a practice hero. If I enjoy being a practice hero and I really fall in love with that process and I go hard in practice and you don't, you can't be a gamer if you're on the sideline behind me. Like you can't. You can't be a gamer if you don't get in the game.
Exactly.
So how can you be a gamer from the sideline? Like I worked hard in practice because I enjoyed it. I had fun with the process. Now I get to enjoy that Saturday. Like that Saturday moment is even that much more euphoric because I enjoy it now. Like, and I don't know. I think that's just the way you gotta.
I think that would drive people too, cause like let's say we play the same position, right? I'm the gamer, right? I'm going all out in the game. I don't really practice. I see you working hard in practice. Like the coach see it too. He's like, "Yeah, you're starting over Mike now." That's gonna drive me even more.
Now
I'm gonna want my spot back.
Yeah, you gotta be like, I gotta be a gamer and a practicer.
So now I'm scared that you're gonna take my spot. So now I gotta go twice as hard.
Exactly. You gotta push each other. And then that same thing. I think that's how you could get over a lot of fears. If somebody pushing you, like
That's what friends and family is supposed to be for.
exactly.
Absolutely.
You gotta find that person that you can open up to. Like when you would like. I don't want to compare it to something as bad, like not as bad, but like as traumatic as like being, in AA. Like the first thing you do, you gotta face the fear and face the fact that you have a problem, and everything becomes easier after that. So if I have a fear of something, voice it. Like talk it through with somebody. Like talk through it with somebody that's either done it and been successful. I think it's more important to talk to somebody that done it and failed, so you can see what the worst case scenario is and like. Get that known unknown out the way.
You should get both point of views.
Yeah, both point of views. But I
Someone
think which one do you think is more important though? Like if you can only get one, what do you think is more important?
Me, honestly,
Yeah.
probably the person that succeed.
Why?
Because they 9 times out of 10 they probably failed to get to where they at. So
True.
they're gonna tell me about all their failures and how they got to the point to where they succeeded.
I definitely agree with you. I definitely see where you're coming from.
Because if you go off of just the person that just failed,
You don't know how to succeed.
like you already know where that's gonna lead you.
But isn't there more knowledge in knowing what didn't work than what
That's
did?
what the person that succeeded should have. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
pretty
but
sure
they
failed.
only got one way of succeeding. You gotta remember that. They succeeded one time, one way. They might have had some failures along the way, some things that stopped them.
Oh,
but
that's why you should get both though.
Yeah, I mean you should, but if you can only get one, like say like you only you know what I'm saying, you could like if someone's like
That's
I
me
can,
personally. I would go with the person that succeeded.
I might go with the person that failed. Because it's like, if I know what the worst thing that could happen to me is, and I'm like, that's not that bad, I might be more inclined to trying it. Like, if you talk to somebody success, like, if I sat down and had a conversation with Jay-Z, and I was like, yo, how did you go from a drug dealer in Trenton, New Jersey, to one of the quote-unquote greatest rappers to ever live, billionaire, all that? And he was like, okay, I failed here because I got caught selling drugs. I did this, I failed, but then I got in the booth with this person, I rapped in front of them, they love me, boom. All right, what did I take out of succeeding in there? Oh, he met with this person, that person heard him. Okay, I gotta go meet with that person, let them hear me rap. Then I go, you suck. Now what? I didn't know no other way. Now if I talk to the person who never made it off of SoundCloud, I'm like, bro, like honestly, what do you think was the one thing that could? Because they learn a lot too. People who fail learn a lot. They learn so much because they probably tried it 1,000 different ways and still was never successful. That person who succeeded could have failed 6 times, got that one break, and now they can only tell you 6 ways they failed. The person who's still failing to this day, they probably done try 1 billion things, and they could tell you all those things that never worked. And it's like, one, either I can avoid those things at all costs because they're hazardous, or I know where they went wrong in those paths. I could follow that same path and like, this is where they went wrong. Let me make a right instead of that left. And like, I think you can learn a lot more from it doing it that way.
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
My point of view.
You see what I'm saying?
Just change my point of view.
Because it's like I said, it's always like when you win, you could have found one specific way that works for you. When you fail, you like that's for everybody. Like this is why you don't win in this situation. You gotta think of like when you watch sports tapes. It's like, all right, those plays didn't work. I'm not necessarily going to worry about which one of their plays worked, but I'm worried about which one of my plays will work in that situation. Because you know what I'm saying? You see what didn't work, and now you can see why it didn't work. Based on the fact that now I could be like, all right, well, if I make this adjustment, this will actually work. It could have been the same play with 2 adjustments and it worked now. So it's like, I think it's more knowledge and failure, and that's why I'm not afraid of failure. I genuinely believe there's a lot more knowledge in failure than there is from succeeding. When you succeed, it's like, all right, I did it this way. You could educate somebody on that, but that other person who's listening to me would find more if you talk to somebody that failed forever.
You're right.
I mean, but like I said, if we get back to that topic of failure, like, if you...
I feel like it's more mental than anything.
100%.
It's like 99% mental.
100%
It's all
mental.
about what you think.
There's no... What physical failure... Like, what physical fear would it be to, like... I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, because like when it comes to sports and stuff, you either got it or got it.
Yeah.
You either got
I mean,
it or
like, if you afraid to skydive, the physical fear is like, what if I die? But like,
but that's mental because you're thinking.
it is because
about
you're thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
So basically, it's 100%.
It's 100%. That's what I was getting.
all
Like, it's like
about how you
100%
think.
mental.
It's
It's
all
like
about how
what
you
you think. Like, you could think of the negative. Every situation has a negative. I don't think there's a. You could put a kid in a chocolate factory and they find a negative. I mean, they could love every bit of the chocolate in there. The negative, the stomach ache that's gonna come afterwards. It's like, do I really want to be stuck in here with all this temptation knowing I'm gonna hurt myself? There's a negative to everything, and there's ways to fail at everything. There's ways to succeed. So why would I let failure consume me so much that I never try something? It never seems to be. It doesn't seem smart.
You just gotta get out and do it.
100%. There's no.
That's what you start off with, like, I say talking with your family and friends first, see what they say about it.
I mean, it depends on your fear though, because like, what if your fear of negative feedback and they're like, oh no, I don't think that's a good idea. Now you introduce yourself to the fear, and now it's like, hit me in the face.
You're right.
The exact thing I was afraid of happened. You ever do that? Like, you show somebody something you did, and it's like, nah, that wasn't even that good.
All the time.
And you're like, never mind. I'll go sit in the corner.
You show somebody this podcast, I'm like, nah, that's not it, bro.
Then I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, somebody go. That's my biggest thing too. Like, I never say anything is bad, because there's always somebody that's gonna like it.
But somebody's gonna
Like with music, like there's no bad artists out there, because you could put on SoundCloud in a room of 20 people and play random artists off there. Somebody might find. There's gonna be somebody in the room that finds one of the songs like good. They're like, oh, this is a hit. The next person like, yo, this is trash. This is the worst I've heard of my life.
Find something for you.
Yeah, so there's not like there's no good and bad. It's all opinionated. So if you're afraid of social pressures, that shouldn't even affect you, because you're gonna have a following no matter what you do. There's gonna be some kind of following. I don't think there's anybody who puts anything out that gets 0 views. Like there's a following for it. It's either your following is big or small, and the way to fix that is listening. All right, you got 200 followers, you want 1,000. This dude has 1,000. Let me see what he does different than me to get 1,000. Or let me read the comments under this post instead of turning them off, so I could try to use that criticism. Whether it's good criticism, bad criticism, or actually constructive, it's criticism. You could take it or leave it. If I tell you I will only watch your podcast if you hit yourself in the face with a pie at the beginning of every episode, either you find followers a different way, or you hit yourself in the face with a pie every episode.